It's funny, you never really know which keyboard is going to be your last. But for the streamers out there, the Galleon 100 SD from Corsair might actually be it. I think surprisingly, the first time ever, we've got a stream deck in a keyboard. I don't know why no one ever did that before. I mean, I searched Amazon really quick and I found like one other mechanical keyboard that has like 3 or 6 little macro buttons that kind of looks like it, but it's just not the same. So Corsair took a long time to get here, but they're here. So let's take a look at what we've got. Pretty slim. I gotta say, I wasn't expecting it to be this slim, but that's our keyboard, which I'll unveil momentarily. And then we've also got, what is this little Galleon SD? It's more than a new keyboard, it's a new input standard. Combining Corsair and Elgato engineering to bring deep control and insight into your fingertips. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why they didn't do this sooner. Maybe they've been working on it for a long time and just had to work out some kinks, safety and warranty stuff, don't care. And then something that's pretty common with Corsair keyboards that I'm actually a big fan of is their magnetic palm rest. Honestly, it's comfortable. It just attaches right to the board. I love these things. 0 complaints about them, really. Yeah, none at all. And then we've got 2 cables. Well, do you have to connect the stream deck separately or something? That's kind of weird. I don't know, I guess we'll find out together. USB A to C, pretty long, probably about 6-foot cable. And then we've got second USB A to C for reasons that are still a mystery to me, and it's also roughly 6 feet long. And then Corsair has included actually a pretty chunky version of what I think is just the best like keycap and switch puller tool, where you've got keycap puller on one end and then a nice switch puller on the other. Yeah, this thing is really easy to grip. I mean, you usually grip it from like here, but like, I don't know. Do you need this? Not really, but nice to see, yeah. It's got a little diagram for the keyboard. You got your stream deck over here, click button to record. It's like, yeah, you can do game, stream, work, whatever, because you can set those macro keys to basically whatever you want. I am not a stream deck expert. Even when I was streaming briefly, I'm lazy. Which I guess is actually a good reason to get a stream deck, because then you just press buttons, you don't have to do stuff. But luckily, they're not the most complicated devices. So what I really want to see is the keyboard. I do like that they've got it in this nice, like, felt bag. Feels premium, I will say. Ooh. One nice thing is they don't have like a brushed aluminum look. The keyboard is aluminum and it does feel reasonably heavy for how slim it is. And so I am kind of impressed. This video is not sponsored. I also know the price of this thing. And you know what? It's not cheap, but I don't think it's a ripoff. So I'm actually, you know, I'm overly positive about it so far. Wrist rest, palm rest, sorry, fits just fine. Just, it's not super magnetic, but it's magnetic, it snaps in there. The keyboard itself sounds and feels okay. My only complaint is it's very typical keyboard. But I mean, it's Corsair, they're trying to make a, not generic product, but something that most people will like out of the box instead of, you know, oh, I want to tune it to this sound profile with my switches and my foams and my modding and everything. No, you don't have to do that. It's a pretty typical keyboard sound. I think it's good. They've got about 6 layers of sound dampening foam in here too, so the construction actually feels reasonably premium. It's a pretty typical TKL layout, but it's basically a full keyboard size because instead of like your numpad and stuff, you've got the stream deck over here. And those feel like stream deck buttons. They're not the most satisfying thing in the world to me, but you know, they're actually not terrible. And then above the stream deck buttons, you've got a couple of rotary knobs. I do love a good knob. And I'm pretty sure, on top of all of this, that it's hot swap. So if you don't like Corsair's MLX pulse switches, you can just take them out. Hey, yeah, it is hot swap, perfect. These are pre-lubed from the factory. They sound pretty good. As for the keycaps, actually, while I've got them out, they're fine. They look just like their normal double shot PBT keycaps. Yeah, it feels like PBT. Decent, you know, reasonable. They're not gonna wear out instantly, and I don't think you're gonna hate them. And hey, if you really want to, like, I think the black on black actually looks really good on this board already, but if you wanted to, you can put whatever keycaps you want on here instead. That's the nice thing about mechanical keyboards is just about any part, as soon as it's dead or broken, you can swap it out. As for the back, we've got the Corsair logo on the back. I'm just gonna give that a little peel. Get that off of here. Ooh, I like this texture that they've got too. That feels really nice. And then look at all these feet. 2-stage adjustable feet. Love to see that. It's a minor thing, but I really do love to see adjustable feet. And then we've got a couple of nice long bar rubber feet. Yeah, I think these are made of rubber, not plastic. It's like a really hard rubber, don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, that's like, I don't know, you can probably see me like flex it even. Yeah, that's rubber, baby. So that's gonna grab onto the, yeah, that's going nowhere. Even if I put them down? Oh yeah, that's going nowhere. Sick. The only other thing I kind of noticed is all the screws. 8 screws, and they're all on the bottom, so they're all hidden, which is great. You don't have to go hunting for them. There's no stickers or rubber over them or anything like that, so seems easy to open up. Yes, we do have 2 USB-C ports at the top. Wait, there's 3? There's 3 USB-C ports at the top. I missed this one over here. I'll be honest, I was really excited about this thing. This is kind of the only bit that I'm a little upset about. The whole idea of this is you buy one thing, right? You don't want a Stream Deck and a keyboard, you just want them all in one place. That sounds like a good idea. Well, there's a couple of problems. First of all, some of you are going to prefer having the Stream Deck on this side. The issue right now is, if I want to use my left hand, but my right hand is on my mouse and I don't want to take it off, I gotta go like this. And that's a really weird reach that I don't really want to do. Whereas like, boom, that's right there. So it would be cool if it was modular, and I've seen other, I want to say it was Mountain Everest or something. They had a modular keyboard that was really cool. You can move things to either side. So I would have loved to see that. But I'm wondering now, like, how much do you really want your keyboard integrated into your Stream Deck versus like having your Stream Deck up here or over here or wherever you want it? So yeah, there's pros and cons to having it together. I guess another one is, if your keyboard breaks, you buy a new keyboard. If your Stream Deck breaks, you buy a new Stream Deck. If any part of this breaks, you're kind of out of luck on both things. Or maybe one of them still works, but not the other, but now you've got to buy another part anyway. So that kind of sucks too. It's really tough to say who exactly it's for. But let's find out after this word from our sponsor.
Wayland! Meet the LMG team. Make new friends. And most importantly, play some dang old games. Wayland is a place for you to bring your gaming setup and remember what it was like to stay up until 2 a.m. on a summer night with friends. There's tons of stage events, a gaming lounge, great snacks, custom lobbies, 8v8 gaming, so you'll always have something to do and people to meet. The next event is August 29th to 30th, and tickets for the LAN starter pack start at $80. Seating is limited, so grab your tickets at whaleland.com. There's more info in the description box below. So do it.
Let's kick things off with the ever-beloved monkey type typing test, as is tradition. And away we go. 106.97 is really not my best time. Part of it was I hit a double D at some point, like really early on, and I wasn't sure if that was chatter or not. So what I want to do is just open a quick notepad. It might just be sensitive. The thing about linears is that they're really easy to hit sometimes. So I just want to like, yeah, I'm not getting doubles. Okay, just my own mistake. I can't blame anyone else but me. But yeah, perfectly normal. I think if I hadn't got hung up on that, I probably would have done a little better, but it doesn't really matter. The keyboard does what it says it does. But I do stand behind my earlier statement that this is like, it's not bad, but it's missing that like rich creaminess that I so sorely crave. It is very much the keyboard of all time in terms of like sound and feel and stuff. It is totally fine. But if you're looking for something a little more unique or bougie, probably not for you, but I don't know, you get Stream Deck, that's pretty cool. It's also 8 kilohertz, so like, it's a gaming keyboard. Ooh, I like that cool animation that started playing. What the f***? Will you like do that forever? Okay, well I pressed a button and it stopped, that makes sense. 100, oh, you can just change the, so this is great. Like right out of the box, I haven't even touched any of the software and a bunch of these buttons are just pre-configured to work. Most of the time you don't need 8 kilohertz, it really just hammers your CPU. So I highly recommend that for the most part, you just leave it at 1K. Maybe even when gaming, because like 1 kilohertz to 8,000 hertz doesn't make the biggest difference in terms of latency, but if you want that edge, you technically should do it. Theme 1, theme 2, theme 3. How many themes I got? 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's more than I expected. That's pretty cool. You can change your theme. So if you want like, I don't know, a little Sakura, like cherry blossoms or Corsair logo, you can probably do just about whatever you want. And then it's got, some media controls like play, previous track. What's this? Game mode. Whoa! I don't know for sure, but it's probably just disabling some keys so you don't fat finger them while you're gaming. I like that it makes everything red, makes all your RGB red so you know you're gaming now, ready to game. Let's get out of game mode because I like this blue RGB a lot more. All right, let's take a look at their software. They do have a web hub, which is great. I love when I don't have to download stuff. Now that my firmware is all updated, everything looks good. You can make macros, you can reassign keys, you can do whatever you want with their app, it looks like, which is, you know, that's great. I don't ever do it, but a lot of people do. They've even got their own little key tester down here. You go to key testing, press it, pressed key, released key. There's a whole like flash tap section on their software. It's not Hall effect, so I'm not 100% sure how they're doing it. Activate flash tap. Okay, but hey, if you like flash tap and you've used it on other keyboards and you want it here without, I guess, a magnetic keyboard, then this is an option. Assignments, please, I don't want more assignments. And then just lighting effects, as you typically do. As much as it sucks being integrated into this one family of Corsair products, it's really good. Like when you actually do it, it's kind of like Apple, where if you actually dive into it and you go like all Corsair for lighting effects for like fans and hub controllers and everything, it's pretty good. Is it a resource hog? Yes. But like, is it gonna do exactly what you want it to do and put on super cool light shows? Yeah. Oh, you can also import profiles too. So if you've got another profile, you can import it, which is great. You know, if you switch keyboards and you don't want to do that all over again. Yeah, see, at 1000 hertz, you're already at 1 millisecond. So like, yeah, 0.1 millisecond is definitely faster, but like, are you gonna lose that 0.9 millisecond? I don't know, man. Increase key switch debounce time. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. But let's put some like YouTube on. I wanna see if the media keys work. YouTube. Grab Rave and just not play it. And then, oh, sick, no commercial. Play. It paused! Okay, all right. Heck yeah. Media keys work. I'm not gonna try the others. I'm sure they, yep, no app supported in use for mic. Okay, cool, so they're hooked up, yeah. They're doing what they're supposed to do. That's pretty cool. And as for the Stream Deck software, you have to go to a different hub, which is a little annoying, but not the end of the world. And then, yep, it's basically a Stream Deck. And if you go to profiles, it has some cool Galleon specific ones for you, if that's what you feel like doing. The only annoying thing is it'd be kind of cool if there was like an XL version of this, so you can get like more than just the 12 integrated buttons, because you know some of those Stream Decks are like this freaking big. They got a lot. They got like 24 keys on those. I don't have that here. Come on. With all that said, what about the price? Well, a Stream Deck is like 150 bucks, and then a keyboard from Corsair like this one is also about like $150, $200, especially considering it's aluminum, it's mechanical, it's hot swap. I don't think it's wireless, but like, that's fine. Overall, like I said earlier, I'm actually relatively impressed by the construction. I think Corsair has kind of like really stepped up their game over the last couple of years. For this 2-in-1 product, it's $350. Like I said, I don't think it's a steal, but I also don't think you're getting ripped off, considering you're getting a TKL and a Stream Deck all in one. And 2 knobs. This one's not doing anything yet, just gotta be assigned, but this guy's up and down in my volume. So, you know, they work. It's a really cool product, and I think that it's definitely going to be sought after by some very specific people, probably streamers. Maybe someone who just wants like a really fancy macro pad. Like Stream Decks are pretty cool in the sense that you can basically do whatever you want with them. One final kind of cool feature is, you know, it's a TKL, but it's also kind of not, because you do have a numpad. You just set it to numpad mode, and then let's open like a notepad for you. Notepad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's a numpad, all right. And then if you want all the buttons that you're also missing, you can just hit the button in the bottom left, and you get like divide or multiply or minus or plus or equals or enter or period. That's great. It's just a little annoying that you've got to switch over to that, especially if you're doing like decimal places, because yeah, there's no period option here. It's not the most elegant solution ever, but it is nice that they've included it here, and it is pretty easy to just swap between shortcut mode and numpad mode if you want it. I still think that personally, I'd prefer a full-size keyboard, just because this feels awkward right now, pressing these like squishy buttons instead of like an actual proper set of keys that I can muscle memory my way through. This is similar, but I don't know, it's just like just different enough that I don't know, I'd probably stumble a bunch while entering some long form numbers. Yeah, it's pretty cool though, pretty cool feature. I do think there's a subset of people out there who are seeing this right now and they're like, oh my God, finally they've done it. And finally I've finished this video. So this is the Corsair Galleon 100 SD. Pretty sure the SD stands for Stream Deck. It is a decent keyboard. This is Short Circuit. I'm Ploof, and I hope you have a good day.